Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so if you feel like you're maybe struggling to keep up with just the sheer speed of AI development, all the massive money flying around, the tech breakthroughs, the big companies suddenly pivoting, well, this deep dive is definitely for you.
It really is.
We're taking this huge stack of reports, strategy memos, all the breaking news from just early October 2025, and we're trying to synthesize it. Basically create a strategic map for you.
Yeah, cutting through the noise.
Exactly. Our mission here is to quickly highlight the velocity, the direction the field is heading, because the stakes just feel incredibly high right now.
And that speed you mentioned, that is the story here. I mean, the sources we've pulled together, they capture these really fundamental shifts.
Like what?
Well, we've got corporate power solidifying the very, very top. Then there's this intense consumer battle, especially over video. And crucially, this push of sophisticated AI agents into regulated real-world situations, safety-critical stuff.
Right. So this deep dive really moves past the theory, doesn't it? It's all about deployment now.
Absolutely. Theory into practice.
Okay, let's start with the money then, because the scale here is just... It's redefining the market, isn't it? We're talking, what, a $500 billion valuation?
That's the headline. And it tells you almost everything you need to know about market confidence right now. OpenAI just closed a $6.6 billion secondary share sale.
$6.6 billion.
Yeah, and that set their valuation at a record $500 billion.
Oh, wow.
So they've officially blown past SpaceX. They are now the world's most valuable private company, period.
$500 billion. I mean, that kind of number obviously grabs headlines everywhere, gets investors buzzing. But was there something else in those numbers, like an internal signal that was maybe just as telling?
Oh, absolutely. Look, the transaction itself was a tender offer, right? Designed to give existing employees some liquidity.
Standard Silicon Valley move, yeah. Keep the talent happy?
Exactly. Especially in this crazy competitive talent war. But here's the kicker. Employees only sold about 2/3 of the shares they were authorized to sell.
Interesting, even with that massive valuation.
Right. That reluctance to cash out completely, even at $500 billion, it signals this really profound internal confidence. They think it's going much higher.
So the message is that number's just the floor.
It implies that, yeah, the market isn't just valuing the cool AI models. It's valuing the governed infrastructure needed to actually build and deploy these things responsibly. That's the real asset.
Okay, so while OpenAI is consolidating that power, we're seeing Apple make a huge shift, a hardware roadmap shift, right? They're sidelining the cheaper Vision Pro plans.
That's what the reports say. It's a massive strategic pivot. They seem to be actively moving resources away from refining that VRR headset.
And putting them where?
Towards developing new AI-powered smart glasses.
Basically going head-to-head with Meta.
The glasses war.
It's on. They've apparently got 2 models planned. First one, codename N50, maybe 2027. Sounds like it pairs with your iPhone, doesn't even have its own display.
Okay, simpler. Yeah. And then a second version that will have a display meant to challenge the Meta Ray-Ban model directly. And Apple's reportedly trying to push that one up, release it sooner than the original 2028 plan.
So they're really prioritizing this race for, what, the next everyday AI utility device? Forget immersive worlds for now?
Seems like it. Simple, functional AI eyewear. That looks like the immediate battleground.
That shift is really telling. But, looking across all the sources, the biggest spending right now, it doesn't actually seem to be coming from the average person buying glasses.
No, you're right. The focus has definitely shifted upstream. We're seeing the enterprise AI builders, the CTOs, the VPs of engineering, ML apps leads, they're the primary target now.
And what's their big headache?
It's not really about model performance anymore. The core challenge they keep citing is getting secure, compliant AI into production at scale, especially in highly regulated industries.
Right. So they need infrastructure they can trust.
Exactly. There's this huge urgent demand for what the sources call high-stakes governed AI infrastructure. They need the guardrails before they deploy these agents widely.
Okay, so that's the enterprise play. What about the consumer front then? Because that's where this video war seems to be just exploding. OpenAI didn't just update Sora 2, right? They launched an app.
Oh yeah. Sora 2 has much better world simulation, physics. It's a leap. But the Sora app, that's a direct shot across the bow at TikTok and Meta.
A social platform built around AI video creation.
Exactly. Designed for users to make and share AI videos easily. And the timing wasn't accidental. It launched right after Meta put out their Vibes app.
Which hasn't exactly gotten rave reviews, has it?
No, the sources were pretty brutal, calling it AI slop, basically. Sora seems to be aiming for a much higher bar of quality and, frankly, delight.
And they have that feature where you can put yourself or your friends in the AI videos, the cameo thing.
Yeah, which pushes the engagement angle hard. But
Mm.
as these tools get better and more fun,
The copyright nightmare just grows, right?
exponentially.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the CEO mentioning deep fake mitigation efforts, the sources found issues almost immediately. Reporters generated a character that looks suspiciously like a, quote, flying superhero with a red cape.
Uh-oh.
And someone on Twitter quickly shared something that looked like a direct Hamilton ripoff. The speed and quality just pour gasoline on the copyright and licensing fires.
And that fire is burning hot in the music industry, too. We're seeing reports that Universal Music, Warner Music,
Yeah.
they're close to deals with Google, Spotify, AI startup.
Yeah, they're deep in negotiations. But it's incredibly complex. They're trying to nail down licensing for two very different things.
Okay, what are they?
First, licensing their song catalogs just for training the AI models, feeding the machine, basically.
Right.
Second, and this is the trickier one, licensing for generating new music, stuff that could actually compete commercially.
So how do you even track that?
Well, that's the crux. The major labels are pushing hard for a model like streaming with micropayments per play or per generation.
Which would mean
Which would mean the AI companies need to build entirely new software systems just to track and audit that kind of usage. It's a massive technical and financial hurdle.
So whether you're a big music label or just someone trying to, I don't know, enhance a selfie, the trend seems to be about abstracting away the complexity, making it easier.
That's a huge part of it. Look at developer tools like Murati's Thinking Machines Lab launching Tinker.
What's this Tinker do?
It's a great example of removing friction. It's basically a flexible API, a managed service. It gives developers that low-level control they need over algorithms and data for custom builds.
Uh-huh.
But the service itself handles all the really complex infrastructure stuff needed for distributed training across different open-weight models. It takes the MLOps and DevOps pain away.
Making custom AI builds more accessible.
Exactly. And then for the average user, the utility is becoming almost ridiculously simple. The sources had that great example with Gemini 2.5 Flash.
Oh, yeah, the headshot thing.
Yes, taking a casual selfie and turning it into a professional-looking headshot instantly.
How'd that work?
You just upload the photo and give it a detailed prompt. The sources broke down a successful one, specifying natural, flattering, multi-dimensional light, asking for the head slightly tilted so it doesn't look stiff, setting the scene, modern, bright office blurred background.
Pretty amazing. Makes you wonder about studio photographers.
You know, it certainly makes getting a usable headshot way easier for many people. Completely optional for some use cases now.
Okay, so we've got these increasingly powerful creative tools. But the real delegation, the big shift, seems to be happening way up in the C-suite. The commitment to AI agents is almost total now.
It really is. There was that IDC and Salesforce study. Pretty stunning numbers. 99% of the CEOs they surveyed are prepared to implement digital labor.
99%.
Yeah, AI agents in their workforce.
So that's not an if anymore, is it? That's just a when and how. What did the sources say about the impact they expect? Culturally, structurally?
They see it as fundamentally transformative. 65% think agents will transform their actual business models. 73% see them changing the company structure itself.
Wow.
And here's maybe the most striking prediction. 72% of these CEOs believe most employees will have an AI agent reporting to them within the next 5 years.
An AI reporting to a human manager, that changes everything about management.
Completely. And the high-impact areas they expect are security, software development, customer service. But interestingly, 80% still project humans and agents coexisting. They expect most employees will stay, maybe be redeployed.
Okay, but that raises a huge question. If you're going to have agents taking on these roles, even reporting to people, how do you train them safely, efficiently, before letting them loose?
That's where simulation becomes absolutely critical. Google DeepMind just showed a major breakthrough here with Dreamer 4 in Minecraft.
Minecraft again. What did Dreamer 4 do differently?
It represents a huge leap in learning through simulation. It was the first agent to manage to collect Minecraft diamonds, a complex task, using only offline data.
Offline data, meaning no live playing.
Exactly. It trained entirely within its own internal predictive world model. It basically simulated the game's physics and environment itself.
And how efficient was that?
Incredibly. Dreamer 4 beat its rivals and, crucially, it learned from 100 times less data than older agents like OpenAI's Minecraft VPT.
100 times less data.
Yes, and training offline like that. It removes the need for constant, expensive human interaction during training or massive cloud compute for live testing. It drastically cuts the cost and time.
So simulation is the key to efficiency and presumably safety. You work out the kinks virtually first.
Precisely. You can bake in guardrails, test scenarios. It creates much safer, more efficient paths for developing everything from robotics to these enterprise agents. You avoid costly, potentially dangerous real-world trial and error.
Okay, simulation helps with safety guardrails, but not all guardrails are about, preventing robots from bumping into things. Some are about privacy, and Meta's making a big move there.
A very big and potentially controversial move. They announced, October 7th, that starting mid-December, user interactions with their generative AI chats.
Like talking to their Meta AI assistant.
Exactly. That chat data will be used to personalize ads and content recommendations across Facebook and Instagram.
Okay. And can users opt out?
That's the critical point.
Yeah.
Users will not have the option to opt out of this data usage.
No opt out. Wow. Classic Meta playbook.
Pretty much. Using every bit of interaction data to hone ad targeting and personalization, they did state they'd make exceptions for highly sensitive topics discussed with the bots, things like religious views, sexual orientation, politics, health. Those supposedly won't feed the ad algorithms.
And this applies everywhere.
Not quite. Importantly, this policy change won't apply in the UK, South Korea, and the EU because of their existing strong privacy laws. GDPR and similar regulations block this kind of non-consensual data use.
Right. Okay, so if we connect this drive for efficiency, the need for guardrails, both safety and privacy, back to these high-stakes environments, we have to talk about that specific real-world incident cited in the sources, the LaGuardia taxiing collision, October 1st, just this month.
Yes. This is exactly where that concept of governed AI infrastructure becomes potentially life-saving. The goal isn't about replacing pilots or controllers with AI.
It's about adding layers of safety.
Exactly. Multiple redundant layers to interrupt the chain of error that can lead to accidents during ground operations. It's about applying the kind of rigorous safety thinking we see in, say, automotive driver assist systems to aviation ground control, where human error is still a major risk factor.
So what kind of AI-augmented solutions are being proposed to prevent future collisions like that one?
The sources highlighted three main areas. First, at the air traffic control tower level, surface comfort prediction.
Okay, what's that?
It involves taking existing surveillance data, like the high-res ground radar feeds they already have, ASDE-X, and feeding it into machine learning models trained to score collision risk in real time.
So it predicts potential crashes.
It predicts potential conflicts and pushes hard alerts to controllers and maybe even directly to cockpits before two aircraft get dangerously close on the ground. An early warning system.
Makes sense. What's the second one?
That's onboard taxi assistance. This would be an AI layer running inside the plane's systems.
In the cockpit.
Yes. It would continuously compute things like wingtip clearance relative to other planes or obstacles. It could geofence specific points where pilots need to yield, and critically, it could generate immediate warnings like an audible hold traffic crossing or even a tactile vibration in the controls if the aircraft starts moving into a dangerous situation against instructions.
Like an automated nudge?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
A safety net. And the third solution is really vital because it tackles miscommunication or distraction, which are huge factors in runway incursions.
What is?
It's being called a readback clearance co-pilot. This system would use real-time speech-to-text to listen to the ATC instructions given to the pilots.
Okay.
And then it would check if the aircraft's actual movement contradicts the latest clearance received. So, for example, if the plane's ground speed starts increasing right after ATC explicitly said, hold short of runway X.
The system flags it?
Exactly. It alerts the crew, clearance conflict detected. It's that final layer of redundancy right there in the cockpit, constantly cross-checking instructions against actions.
It's really remarkable, isn't it, seeing the tech move so fast from, abstract computation and cool demos to these very specific, highly regulated, safety-critical applications.
It really is. And it lends a lot of weight to that final philosophical point that popped up in the sources, the argument from that Harvard researcher.
About AI maybe not being artificial.
Yeah, tracing parallels between how computation evolved in the human brain and how AI is developing. The core idea wasn't just the not artificial part, but the suggestion that true complexity and mastery, whether biological or digital, emerge from cooperation and well-regulated systems,
Cooperation between humans and machines.
or between different AI agents, or between managers and their new digital reports. That cooperation within a framework of safety and governance seems to be the key to actually managing the incredible velocity we're seeing everywhere.
So let's try and tie this all together then. What are the big takeaways? We've seen the market put a $500 billion value on AI, but specifically on the infrastructure and governance needed.
Right. Huge validation there. Then, fierce competition for the consumer, especially with tools like Sora shaking up video creation.
And enterprise commitment is basically locked in. That 99% CEO buy-in for agentic transformation is hard to ignore.
Absolutely. So we're seeing this massive deployment waves starting for agents in more abstract areas: software, customer service, internal operations.
Just as we're simultaneously proving their critical, potentially life-saving role in really physical, safety-focused domains like aviation ground control.
Exactly. And that tension, that balancing act between the sheer speed of deployment and the absolute necessity of safety and governance that really defines where we are right now in October 2025.
So here's a thought to leave you with. If that prediction holds true, if 72% of employees really will have an AI agent reporting to them soon, essentially digital labor with agency, how critical is it then? How critical is it that we apply the same kind of rigorous multi-layered safety framework we just talked about for aviation? The conflict prediction, the hold short checks, the clearance co-pilots to the development and deployment of every new AI agent entering the enterprise. What level of accountability, what kind of safety guarantees do you demand from the digital labor that's about to transform your work, your company, your world? Something to think about.